Creatures of the Night. It's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts 10. We'll start in order with Collision. We did start off with Daddy Magic and Tony Schiavone opening the show. They're the ones that are doing commentary this week, so no Ian and no Nigel McGuinness, which was interesting. Moving on, we did start off with them talking about Jon Moxley winning the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at the New Japan, the Windy City Riot pay-per-view. We will be seeing Jon Moxley on Dynamite on Wednesday. Now, we did something a little different that we haven't done in a while on Collision, which is starting to show off with a promo, like how they used to have all the promos play out. Well, most of the promos play out in the beginning of the shows to get you fired up for the show. We did have Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli, who was doing a promo because Don Callis said on Rampage last night that it didn't matter if Hobbs or Fletcher won the match. What he wanted was for them to kick Bryan Danielson's ass to the point that he could not be able to be like at his best against Will Ospreay at the Dynasty pay-per-view next week Sunday. So here is Bryan and Claudio saying that, you know what, doesn't seem like Don Callis have enough faith in his boys for them to win, and violence is their specialty. So we started off the night with House of Black versus Action Andretti, Matt Sydal, and Dante Martin. Darius Martin was to get his pilot license, so congrats to him for that. Now, this was a really great matchup. I thought this was a great fit for Matt Sydal to join this group. He moves pretty much in the same style as these guys. So I actually really did enjoy this match. Now, while you look at this and you're just like, well, House of Black is winning for sure. That was the case. However, their opponents didn't look like losers to me. They really held their own and gave a great matchup. And once again, Matt Sydal taking an L for his team. As always, it's always Matt to get pinned whenever he's in a team. But this match was absolutely a great opener. The crowd was loving it. I felt like they were on the quiet side most of the night, but for the opener, they were definitely feeling it. Now, so after that, we have some footage of Chris Jericho from Dynamite where he's walking backstage and he walks into Taz and he's saying, Taz, can you get a grip on your son? I'm trying to talk to him. He don't want to listen to me. No matter what I do, he's just not listening. And Taz is like, well, what the fuck you want me to do? He won't even listen to me his damn self. And you want me to convince him to sit down and talk to you? And then he agrees that he'll do whatever he can to get Hook to listen to him. And then later on, they end up showing us that on Dynamite, there's going to be a meeting where Taz is going to be in the middle of this whole thing while Chris Jericho and Hook talk things out. What the fuck do they need to talk out? In my opinion, nothing has really gone on with y'all. If anything, you're forcing this whole storyline to be something when really it's nothing at all. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't care about that. Now, we have Shibata versus Lee Moriarty. I've been waiting to see these guys go at it for the longest. Anthony Ogogo, who's part of STP, he's on commentary. I guess it's nice to see that he's employed and doing something, so he's on commentary talking while this match is going on. I have been waiting to see Lee Moriarty in the ring with someone who's just as technical as he is to really show what it is that he actually does in the ring. He's an amazing technical wrestler, so I really did enjoy this match. I know everybody doesn't like that technical style, but for me, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Obviously, there's some issues here because Shane Taylor is ringside, and you know, you're just looking out to make sure there's not going to be any cheating going on. And of course, these guys are all there ringside just to make sure that Lee Moriarty takes the win. However, Shibata takes the win after a really great matchup with a PK. And man, we all saw this coming, but still another great matchup. But the predictability is sometimes going to kill me. Now, after this match, though, Shane Taylor get in the ring and start attacking Shibata. And then, while that is happening, Anthony Ogogo is still doing, well, I guess you could say commentary because he didn't get his ass up to do anything. But then Hook comes out and helps Shibata. And Anthony Ogogo is still over there at the commentary and not doing anything. And then all of a sudden, when Shane Taylor gets out the ring, that's when he acts like he big and bad and got his chest all out and everything. I'm just like, bro, you weren't doing anything. You were just talking and letting Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty do all the work. Anyway, I don't know where this whole thing is going, but later on that night, we do have Hook versus Shane Taylor, and Lord have mercy, I'm not happy about it. Now, we do have our minion Overlord Athena backstage with Billy Starks, and she says she's gonna make an example out of Red Velvet. And yeah, I believe it. Now, we also get Undisputed Kingdom as well backstage. Just a few interviews here and there that really don't mean anything. We end up having a random match with Daniel Garcia and Angelico. Don't know where this came from, but it is what it is. Sometimes we see Daniel, sometimes we don't. Angelico, whenever they remember he's employed, they put him on TV. And the match was okay, a little slow, and in my opinion, the crowd didn't really seem in for it almost at all. They were pretty quiet about this. Now, there was this part where Angelico is against the turnbuckles, and then here is Daniel Garcia, who is on the second rope with his crotch all up in Angelico's face doing that dance, and I'm just like, hey, while y'all not feeling it, some of the ladies would not mind this at all. Very awkward. Whatever, we're moving on. Match was random. Daniel Garcia spent a great amount of time holding onto his knee, hurting, but then realizing that Angelico knee's busted up too. Let me focus on that knee and try to get the win. He ends up taking the win here in this match. Felt very random. We have Papa Magic, who's on commentary cheering for his adopted son. It's good. I guess it's good. Up next, we have Pac with a backstage promo on Okada, letting us know that he's not the prettiest. He don't have all this money. He don't got a Ferrari or anything, but he don't need none of that shit so he can whoop Okada's ass at the pay-per-view and take that title. Now, he sounds really convincing. Matter of fact, I don't even think he blinked at all during that promo, which is scary enough. Now, while I would love to see a Pac take this title, it just doesn't seem likely at this point. Okada probably defended that title maybe once. I'm probably being generous by saying that. And I just feel like we haven't really seen Okada do anything at all, if you ask me. Now, we had Toni Storm versus Azumi, and this was actually a pretty fun matchup. It was for the AEW Women's Champ. It was a Women's Championship eliminator match. So basically, if Azumi wins this match, she gets to go on against Toni Storm again for the title itself. Now, I don't think Toni Storm thought of anything of importance of Azumi. Probably thought, hey, I'm just gonna go in here, whoop her ass in 2 seconds and win. But Azumi put on a really great fight, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Mariah May did come out with Toni Storm, while we had Anna Jay coming out with Azumi. And midway into this match, we had another match with Anna Jay and Mariah May going at it ringside up until they got to the back with this whole fiasco. And that was interesting. Match continues, and Azumi looks like, man, she really had a chance to take this win. She was just absolutely amazing in this match here with Toni Storm. But obviously, Toni Storm takes the win with a Storm Zero. What's new here? Who's going to pin the champion right before a pay-per-view? Now, Mariah May does come back. She probably kicked Anna Jay's ass back there. Who knows? We didn't get the camera back there to see what was going on. She comes back in one piece, ends up bringing out 2 glasses of champagne for her and Toni Storm to celebrate. And in the middle of all that, Toni Storm is licking her face or something. Like, I don't know what was going on, but these two are super comfortable with each other. Now, after this, we do have Thunder Rosa, who's doing an interview, and once again they're on the stage and they're facing their backs towards the crowd, I guess so they can get a shot of the crowd behind them. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that whole thing. Maybe one day it'll go over with me. Who knows? Now, she's over here almost sounding like she is doing a presidential campaign about her winning the title from Toni Storm, and then she ends up saying that you can't kill somebody that's already been dead, and that she's going to end up dragging her soul to hell. And I'm just like, look, Thunder Rosa, some of us are already in hell already, so you not saying anything that's really going to scare anyone. Toni Storm is living in her own fucking world right now. I don't think she's really fazed by anything that you're saying. She also had some words towards Deonna Purrazzo as well, saying to Deonna, basically, bitch, mind your business, I don't need your help. Later on, we do have Purrazzo, who ends up responding to all this. I don't think it's necessarily that she's trying to make friends with Thunder Rosa, but they have a common enemy that is Toni Storm. And since Mariah May keep putting her nose into everything, she's going to take on Mariah May next week in a match. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Main event time, we literally had like about 25 minutes or so left of the show, where we had Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli versus Powerhouse Hobbs and Kyle Fletcher. And I'm not gonna lie, I was so excited about this because we didn't have to see like a 10-minute main event. Finally, we're going back to the roots of Collision and giving a nice lengthy main event just the way I like it. This match was absolutely fun. I enjoyed it. Obviously, Claudio and Bryan, they've been together for a long time. They have that chemistry as a team. So they were able to have, I guess you can say, more points in terms of them having the experience together, while Powerhouse Hobbs and Fletcher don't really have much experience with each other at all. However, I do think that they complement each other. Now, in my opinion, it was predictable in terms of Claudio and Bryan taking the win. And I just wish they kind of swerved us and gave the win to Kyle and Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs looked absolutely amazing here. Matter of fact, Lex Luger had really nice things to say about Powerhouse Hobbs. I was seeing, reading an article the other day, like Powerhouse Hobbs, he just really needs the company to take a chance on him, a real chance on him. Now this bullshit squash matches and dumb shit they've been doing with Hobbs before, him being part of the Don Callis family might be exactly what he needs to be able to break out as a big star. We'll see. We got time for things to cook up for Hobbs, but he looks really great here, and I absolutely loved it. And then we had, unfortunately, their team taking the loss here, but I do feel like they look great here in terms of as a team. Not the most solid team I've ever seen, but they did hold their own, and they're representing for the Don Callis family. Claudio takes a win here and for his team, and you know what, a neutralizer is gonna do it. Now, interesting enough, it was Kyle who got pinned. Him having the TV title, I feel like maybe he shouldn't have been the one to get pinned because he is ultimately a champion. Now, while they over here about to celebrate, here comes Takeshita of all people, who come in and attack Claudio from behind, and now it's Don Callis family attacking on BCC. Well, just those two. And y'all, I was laughing when they started chanting Moxley, Moxley, Moxley. They wanted Moxley to come out and do something. I was like, Moxley went to hell and back last night. He's at home addressing those wounds, okay? He don't have time to be helping anybody. He got to help himself first. Now, they end up attacking Claudio, but then they really put a beat down onto Bryan Danielson while he was on the ramp. And they end up looking strong after all this. All three members of the Don Callis family just standing there on the ramp. They look great. And I was like, yeah, y'all lost, but y'all standing tall in the end. And that works just fine for me. Now, let's talk about Battle of the Belts. We started off with Hook versus Shane Taylor. And Shane Taylor beat the fuck out of her. I don't care what no one says. He really did. However, they want us to believe that while Hook is going to get his ass whooped, he's going to, go against all odds and still take the win here. And in my opinion, I'm looking at Hook and I'm just like, you look like you're in middle school. You don't look like you can beat a 300 plus pound Shane Taylor for no reason at all. And after Shane Taylor ends up manhandling him, he puts his spaghetti arms around Shane Taylor's neck and going for the red rum. And Shane Taylor was able to get out of that after a little bit. And I'm just like, no matter what, he's not going to pin Shane. He's going to hit that red rum for the win. And it is absolutely unbelievable that Hook took that win with a red rum. He didn't, Shane didn't tap or anything. He just ended up fading, and then the ref lifted his arm. Obviously, he didn't lift his arm back up. So ref rang the bell. I just wasn't feeling it. Nothing about that was believable at all to me. I just don't know what it is that they're so high about Hook. He's not that great in the ring. I really wish he was better than what he was. They should just they need to just do something more with him. You can't just come into the ring and do a couple of Germans and a red rum and think you wrestler of the year. You're not, Hook. You need to get back to the drawing board and give us more than that. In my opinion, with the storyline with Chris Jericho, I found that it would have been effective for Shane Taylor to win. Not just because I don't care for Hook as a champion, but I thought it would be great for him to win. And then this is where Chris Jericho come in, as in, you see why you need me. You see why you needed my advice. Like he's been saying, like he's been wanting to give this unwanted advice for the longest to Hook. And it's going to seem like it made sense for him to want to take advice from Chris Jericho because he lost that title. Now, unfortunately, that's not the case. He ends up retaining that. And honestly, I just don't care. Nobody freaking cares. I'm over it. Now we have the international title on the line, Roderick Strong versus Rocky Romero. Prior to that, Rocky did an interview where Lexi asked Rocky, like, what the hell's going on with you and your friends? What's the whole thing with Trent Beretta leaving the group? Now, Rocky, he doesn't really know what's going on. He wasn't even there for any of that shit. All he knows is that he needed to focus on this match with Roderick Strong. And here we have Kyle O'Reilly being a best Judy and telling him, good luck with your match. Now, here comes the match. I think this is probably one of my favorite matches of the night. I really do enjoy Rocky. And I think Roderick Strong is absolutely amazing in the ring as well. It took a while for us to really warm up to Roderick, but even heel or not, I enjoy him. He's great in the ring. He loves to do a million backbreakers, and that's cool for me. I don't mind that. Obviously, this match was more of a handicap match, more like the Undisputed Kingdom versus Rocky Romero, 4-on-1. Referee is just like absolutely clueless. Obviously, I know that's part of what they're booking to give us, where it's a match where there's a whole bunch of interference. But damn, is a referee that clueless, knowing that there's 3 idiots ringside, and that he's not going to think that no one's going to try to interfere, especially as heels? Absolutely strange to me. But Rocky looks great here. I read earlier that he's now the vice president of New Japan, and I think that's a really, really wonderful. We need somebody with experience to be able to take some leadership in professional wrestling, so congratulations to Rocky. But however, no congratulations for winning this match, because Roderick Strong ends up taking the win because his buddies are helping him. Now, during this little congratulations celebratory thing that they had going on, Rocky's laid out in the ring. They're pretty much ignoring him. Kyle O'Reilly comes into the ring and he hugs Roderick, and everything seems all good, but then he goes check on Rocky because Rocky is his friend too. And then they're obviously upset about him checking up on Rocky, and then they attack Rocky, and then here comes Roderick attacking Kyle O'Reilly. What I thought was going to happen was they were going to attack Rocky Romero, and then Roderick is going to somehow convince Kyle O'Reilly to join too, and then Kyle O'Reilly's officially part of the Undisputed Kingdom. But that doesn't happen. They beat his ass up too, and then a little while later, they end up announcing Tony Khan is all up in Tony Schiavone's ear with a little earpiece talking about, oh, let's make this official. Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly for the Dynasty pay-per-view. And I felt like, holy shit, this feels rushed. I don't know what it was about that, but I kind of felt like there wasn't too much cooking into that story before they gave it to us so quickly. It just felt we needed more time with that. Stories can take some time to be told. This one was super quick. Anyway, they're going to be going at it at the pay-per-view. We'll see what happens. Now, we also do have Serena Deeb, who, when last week when Yuka Sakazaki had her match, she came out, she's clapping and everything for Yuka. This week, she's actually saying, Yuka, bring your ass up to the ring. Let me show you what the professor is all about. I'm going to whoop your ass and win. Great. Great. Sure. Now, main event, Athena versus Red Velvet. We've seen this before. However, those who watch Ring of Honor have seen this before. Everyone else have not. I enjoyed this match. I was like, well, since I've seen this, I'm not going to go crazy over it. But the crowd didn't seem to be going crazy over it either. And it kind of made me feel like, do they care about what's going on? Or is it the fact that we don't really see Athena on AEW TV? So those who have not seen her don't necessarily care too much about what's going on, because out of sight, out of mind. And when you finally see it, it's like, whatever. Still a great match. Great effort with both of these ladies, but Velvet looks absolutely amazing, but she couldn't take the win. Athena wins, and I think this is her 50th win with the title. So congratulations to Athena. After this, Billie Starkz come in the ring and she is jumping for joy with her bestie, but then they go on to go attack Red Velvet. Red Velvet is fighting back, but it's not really happening. And then here comes our Queen Aminata comes out and she take care of the trash. And I absolutely love Queen Aminata. I wasn't expecting for her to come out. I thought it would have been someone else. And this was a great way to end up the show. The thing is that people are not too familiar with what's going on in Ring of Honor, so it just seemed like maybe that's why it was pretty quiet about it, because they just don't know what's going on. Tony Khan puts Ring of Honor behind a paywall, so you have to pay to see it. He never advertised Ring of Honor on his shows, but then he wondered why the crowd is quiet when he actually put these people on the show, because they don't know what the hell is going on and can't be as excited as someone like me who never misses an episode. So it's different for those people who have no clue what's going on. But either way, great way to end off the show. A nice 3 hours of rest. And if you got nothing to do on a Saturday night, then watching these shows were pretty great. It was a great watch along for anybody who watched. I was live from my channel and also from the Hardcore Sports Network, where I will be doing a few watch alongs on there too. So I'm glad to be part of that team. So if you guys haven't subscribed to them, go ahead and subscribe to them, because I will be on that channel as well. And I really do appreciate everyone's support. It really means the world to me, and my dark heart is full. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back on Tuesday with Dark Side of Ring. Bye.